You know what you want to say. You've got the thoughts somewhere in your head. But when you open your mouth, it comes out wrong. Fumbled. Vague. And the person you're talking to, they've already checked out. Most people think, I just need to speak better. Wrong. Your speech problem isn't a speech problem. It's a thinking problem. And until you fix how thoughts form in your head, no communication technique on earth will save you. I spent years studying how people who command rooms actually operate. Not the loud ones, not the charismatic ones, the ones people actually listen to. And what I found breaks most of what you've been told about influence. You're about to learn the exact sequence: how to think with clarity, speak with precision, and influence without effort. And we're starting with the more important one. You must understand that thinking is not passive. Most people treat thinking like it just happens. A question comes up, and they wait for their brain to serve them an answer. That's why your thoughts feel vague. You're not actually thinking. You're reacting. Real thinking is active, deliberate. It's deciding what position you're taking before the words form. Here's how it works. When someone asks you a question, you pause, not to stall, to finish the thought completely in your head before your mouth moves. No exceptions. Try this today. Someone asks your opinion. Before you answer, take one full breath. In that breath, decide exactly what you believe. Not what sounds good. Not what they want to hear. What's true? Then speak from that clarity. This is the foundation, because unclear thinking creates unclear speech. And unclear speech makes people dismiss you instantly. You can't skip this step and expect the rest to work. Here's something you're probably doing. You're speaking to be liked, not to lead. Every time you soften your words, add extra explanations, or apologize for your opinion, you're doing it for approval. And approval seeking destroys credibility faster than being wrong does. Listen to how you talk. Do you say, I think maybe, or I could be wrong, but? Do you over-explain your point because you're afraid someone might disagree? That's not communication. That's negotiation for acceptance, and people feel it. Stop speaking to be liked. Speak to lead. Leadership doesn't mean being loud or aggressive. It means being independent from other people's reactions. When you state something, you state it. You don't dress it up. You don't soften it. You let it stand. For example, instead of, I feel like we should probably consider a different approach because I'm not sure this one is working, you say, this approach isn't working. Let's change direction. Same meaning, completely different authority. The moment you stop needing people to agree with you is the moment they start listening. But this only works if you master the next part. Brevity is dominance. Confident people use fewer words. Insecure people use more. It's that simple. When you over-explain, you're signaling doubt. You're saying, I don't think what I just said was good enough, so let me keep talking until you believe me. And the more you talk, the weaker you sound. Here's the rule. Make your point in 1 or 2 sentences maximum. Then stop. Let it breathe. If someone needs clarification, they'll ask. If they don't ask, they understood. Either way, you don't fill the silence with more words. Watch how this changes things. Instead of rambling through 5 reasons why your idea might work, you say, here's what we're doing, and you state it once. People remember the short version. They forget the long one. This works in every situation. Meetings, Conversations, arguments. The person who uses the fewest words to make their point wins, always. However, timing is everything, so pause before you respond. The fastest way to lose control of a conversation is to react immediately. Someone challenges you and you fire back. Someone asks a question and you rush to fill the space. That's not confidence. That's anxiety. Powerful people pause, not because they're slow, because they're in control. The pause does three things. It gives you time to think clearly. It shows you're not rattled, and it makes the other person wait. And waiting creates tension. Tension creates attention. Every time someone finishes speaking, take one breath before you respond. Just one. It feels like forever to you. To them, it barely registers. But that pause shifts the power dynamic instantly. Try it in your next conversation. Someone says something that would normally make you react fast. Breathe. Think. Then respond. You'll notice they lean in. They wait. Because silence from someone who's calm carries more weight than words from someone who's scrambling. Most people are terrified of pauses. That's exactly why they work. And this brings us to the biggest mistake people make when trying to sound credible. Stop proving yourself. The more you defend your position, the weaker it looks. The more you argue for your credibility, the less credible you become. If you have to convince someone you're right, you've already lost. Let your results speak, not your explanations, not your justifications, your track record, your follow-through, your consistency. When someone questions you, don't argue, don't list reasons. Either ignore it and keep moving, or ask them a question back. What outcome are you looking for? Now they're explaining themselves, not you. This is frame control. You don't defend your position. You reset the conversation. You redirect focus. And you do it calmly, without emotion, because emotional reactions leak weakness. The person who stops trying to prove themselves is the person everyone believes. It's counterintuitive, but it's true. And once you understand this, there's one final layer that ties everything we've said so far together. Silence is power. Most people are afraid of silence. They fill it with words, with explanations, with nervous energy. That's a mistake. Silence is leverage. When you make a clear statement and then stop talking, the pressure shifts to the other person. They either accept what you said, ask a question, or reveal their position. All three give you information. All three put you in control. After you deliver your point, stop. Don't add a follow-up sentence. Don't soften it with a question. Just let it sit. The discomfort you feel is the same discomfort they feel, except you caused it, and whoever speaks first loses. This works in negotiations, in confrontations, in everyday conversations. The person comfortable with silence is the person who controls the room. Practice this once today. Make your point, then be quiet. Watch what happens. You'll be surprised how often people agree, comply, or backtrack without you saying another word. You walked in here thinking you had a communication problem. You don't. You have a clarity problem, and now you know how to fix it. Think before you speak. Speak to lead, not to be liked. Use fewer words. Pause before responding. Stop defending yourself, and let silence do the heavy lifting. This isn't theory. This is how people who command respect actually operate. And the moment you start applying it, you'll notice the shift. People listen longer. They interrupt less. They take you seriously. This channel is about psychology and self-improvement, so if you want more content like this, then subscribe now so you don't miss the next one. You can also check out the video popping up on your screen right now, or look in the description for more. See you at my next.